Welcome back to Lie to Gwyn, where we bring you real, emotional stories that touch the heart. In today's story, a woman wakes up in a strange place, with no memory, no name, and no clue who she is. But fate isn't done with her yet. When a man suddenly appears, claiming to be the father of her child, her world turns upside down. What secrets lie behind her lost past? And will love find its way back to her? The afternoon breeze drifted softly across the cornfields, carrying with it the earthy scent of soil, wild grass, and the faint dryness of a summer not yet arrived. In a small tin-roofed house, Hoai sat quietly on the front porch, her eyes gazing into the distance, as if searching for a piece of memory that had slipped through her fingers. She still couldn't remember who she was, where she had come from, or why she had collapsed beside the lonely riverbank that day. A week had passed since the humble farmer and his daughter took her in. They didn't know her name. When they found her, she was barely conscious, her head bruised, her body thin and cold, her breath shallow like a candle flickering in the wind. No one thought she would survive. But she did. And in the days that followed, she moved about the house quietly, cooking, cleaning, helping with chores like a dutiful daughter-in-law. She was gentle, kind, and grateful. She smiled often, though never quite with her eyes. Her mind was a blank slate. Then, he came. The man with eyes full of fire and sorrow, like someone who had wandered through storm after storm just to find her. He called her Hoai, a name that stirred something inside her, though it brought no memories. He spoke with a trembling voice, saying their child, a 2-year-old named Tony, was waiting at home, missing his mother. She looked at him, confused. Her heart ached, though her mind refused to recognize him. She didn't remember the man or the child. He cried. She remained silent. The farmer and his daughter watched from nearby, their faces wary. Was this stranger truly who he claimed to be? Or just a man taking advantage of her lost memory? But then, he did not demand to take her away. Instead, he bowed deeply, begging them to continue taking care of her for just a while longer. Because his house was no longer safe. His voice broke when he told them the truth, that it was his own mother who had orchestrated the attack that nearly cost Hoai her life. Drowning in debt from loan sharks, desperate to prevent a poor girl from becoming her daughter-in-law, she had hired men to harm her. But the cost had been too high. Each day, Hoai stayed in that little countryside home, her hands tending the cornfields, her ears listening to birdsong at dawn, her smile growing more natural by the hour. She still didn't remember, but somehow, she was healing. The man, her boyfriend, visited regularly, bringing medicine, clothes, and endless patience. He never pushed, never rushed her. Even if you never remember me, he once said, I'll still wait. One day, he brought Tony. The little boy, barely 2 years old, stood shyly in front of her with wide, tearful eyes. Mommy. Mommy, he cried, reaching out with tiny hands. Something inside her shattered. She knelt down, pulled him into her arms, and cried, though she still didn't remember his face, or the warmth of his touch. But her arms, they knew. Her heart, it remembered. From then on, the little house filled with laughter again. Tony followed her everywhere. And though she couldn't recall giving birth to him, her instincts as a mother took over. She fed him, bathed him, hummed lullabies while rocking him to sleep. The man, his name was Tom, stood quietly in the corner, watching. Happiness mixed with heartache. He wanted to bring her and their son home, but his house was still under threat. The loan sharks had returned, more aggressive than ever, demanding blood in place of money. His mother had fled, leaving him to face it all alone. He begged the farmer's family for more time. And once again, they said yes. Little by little, Hoai began to change. She started having flashes of dreams, blurred images, moments of warmth and pain. She couldn't name them yet, but her soul stirred each time Ton held Tony or whispered her name. She wasn't afraid anymore. One day, she asked the farmer's daughter, "If I do regain my memories, will I have to leave?" The woman looked at her kindly and replied, "Home isn't a place. It's where someone loves you." Her voice trembled. That night, she couldn't sleep. A month passed. Ton returned again, this time with a bundle of cash, barely enough to pay off a portion of the debt. He had sold nearly everything he owned. He didn't speak much. Just looked at Hoai with eyes filled with quiet resolve. "My mother's gone," he said. "The house is safe now. Not perfect, but safe enough for us." The farmer's daughter refused the money. "We didn't help her for payment," she said softly. "She was like family to us." Hoai stood near the porch, holding Tony, her long black hair swaying in the breeze. She looked at the two of them, father and son, and said, "I still don't remember everything. But I feel something. Something warm. Familiar. I believe you. And I believe this child is mine." Tom walked toward her, his hand trembling as he reached for hers. "Then come home with me," he whispered. "Let's start over." She nodded. Tears filled her eyes. Behind them, the farmer's daughter and her father stood watching, smiling through their own tears. She pressed a small pouch of herbal medicine into Hoai's hands. "In case the headaches come back," she said. Hoai hugged them both tightly. "If I ever remember everything," she whispered, "I'll come back, not because I need help, but because this place is also my home." Not everyone is lucky enough to be loved so deeply that even lost memories can't erase it. Hoai didn't remember the man who loved her. She didn't remember the child she gave birth to. But somewhere, deep inside her, love still lived. It called out through instincts, through tears, through the way her heart beat faster when she saw them. She hadn't found her past. But she had found something just as precious, a future. She lost her memory, but not her heart. Even though she couldn't remember the man she loved or the child she gave birth to, her heart knew. In the quiet of the countryside, in the arms of her little boy, she found a new beginning. Sometimes, we don't need to remember the past to feel the truth of love. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories like this. Thank you for watching, and remember, love always finds a way.